What up, HubSpot universe? I am here with Jake Fisher on Fast and Terious, where we explore the journeys of HubSpot partners inside the HubSpot ecosystem, how they've tiered and scaled and run businesses. Jake Fisher is CEO of BridgeRev. He also he didn't do this alone. He built this with Ashley Quintana. I hope I got that right.
Ashley Quintana.
Dude, Quintana, and
very well.
We'll go into this later, but Jake spends some time and he can speak Spanish well. Let's the claim to fame, and I think we'll go through this story more, is the BridgeRev team spent time at Platinum for a while, but then once there was this eureka moment, they got they figured out their go-to-market business plan, and they got to Diamond, and then from Diamond, they got to Diamond to Elite in 8 months. Guys, that's incredible. And if you know anything about the change in the sales and managed credit, and they essentially like tripled them. They made it like 3x more difficult. Yep. This is the exact same time they did, 8 months. Welcome to the show, Jake. I'm extremely excited to hear the story.
Oh, that's cool. Really great to see you again, Matt. Last time we talked was at Inbound, and wasn't that a great week?
Yes, it was a super great week. Yeah, spent a lot of time doing demos. I don't remember.
I see what you did
there. Yeah. Well, let's just as we think about this. I mean, there's a start to any journey in HubSpot. How did you, and what was the initial time? Okay, I want to do this HubSpot thing. So talk to me about what started, how long ago it was, and what made you say yes.
Yeah. So there's a little preamble on this. My business partner and I started working together back in 2012. And so we started what essentially was a different business. It was a multicultural and multilingual marketing and advertising company. We were specializing in connecting businesses to potential consumers that were experiencing linguistic and cultural barriers. And what I mean by that is we have a lot of Latino immigrant families here in the United States. And sometimes some members of the family would not be able to do business. It would not be able to buy things, would not be able to engage in commerce because of these linguistic and cultural barriers. And so we worked with companies to do that. And so what happened was we started in 2012, and in 2013, we had exhausted our personal networks as far as marketing and sales. And so we gulped. And I think that we were doing we started the business with $10,000. That's what you got to remember. And I think at this time, back in this time in 2013, we were probably doing gross revenue of like 12,000 or something, 15. I mean, hardly, it was very little. And we were just two little practicing, it was like a practice business. And we were these two partners working really hard, trying to do something good, trying to do something big and significant. And so we were only doing like 12, 15,000. What we did was we're like, man, we gulped hard and wrote, and actually signed a HubSpot contract for $800 a month. It was like, oh, we got to commit to a year for this. Oh, it's so much money. I mean, think about it. It was a ton of money for us.
Yes.
And so what we ended up doing was, I think we got 3 or 4 months in, and finally got our first like inbound offer up. It was the most stereotypical 2013 inbound marketing piece. It was like a PDF download, static PDF. It was like five common but fatal mistakes in marketing to Latinos in the United States or something like that. I don't remember, but it was something of that nature. And I remember I labored over that thing. Like I wanted the thing to be perfect. It probably we probably got delayed on getting this thing up just because I was so excruciatingly perfectionist about getting this thing right. And we got it up, bought a couple $100 in AdWords, and got more than 100 qualified leads. And and closed business. Like we closed business. But what happened was, we were really happy, Ashley and I, my partner, Ashley Quintana and I, we were super happy about how this is we had all these new customers, and it was really interesting work. But then like the second thought was, hey, I think this thing that we just did, if we could figure that out, that might be more valuable. We might be able to make a better business around that. And so we pulled the trigger, we pivoted. What we did do though is we pivoted into doing inbound marketing, like a lot of these marketing agencies did that were in the this I think still are in the partner program, and kind of slowly grew. I remember when we hit our first tier, like it was a big deal. First tier, you may not even know, and most of the people listening here may not know that there used to be in the HubSpot Partner Program a silver tier.
Silver. Yeah.
Did you know that, Matt?
I did know. I did know. I was searching stuff and I was like, "What is this silver badge thing?" And then I started looking back. Yeah.
The OGs remember the silver. Like, I know there's gonna be like 17 guys over the age of 40 like me that are going, "I remember silver. I remember that." So, anyway,
so y'all started this in. You took the jump, the leap of faith in 2013. Really,
2014 is actually when we joined the partner program, and it was a guy that I think is still at HubSpot, a dude named Oliver Barron. It was Oliver who signed us up. So Oliver, if you're listening, shout out. Great to see you. Thank you for getting us in the partner program. Thank you.
One of the OG cams, right? Was that?
Yeah. Dude. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if he was, I can't remember if he was a cam at the time, but I remember he was really impressive. Like, I was like, man, this guy knows what he's talking about.
So 2014, you'll start.
Yep.
You hit silver, back when silver was a thing.
It was a thing.
And then what happened it is 2023. That's about a decade ago when you started.
Yeah.
And then you had this rapid, what happened during that time as you were in the ecosystem for the last 10 years?
Yeah. So we slowly as the product grew, in 2014, I don't think, my recollection is, there weren't multiple hubs. HubSpot was just marketing software. There wasn't even a CMS. And so, and I paid $800 a month for that.
That's pre-inflation,
as it grew,
to be clear. $800 pre-inflation.
Pre-inflation 800. That's exactly right. Pre-inflation $800. That's like $19,000 now. But what happened is we've kind of figured out, we slowly got better at it, and we did a lot of kind of lead generation based inbound marketing, lots of SEO, and really built a kind of a nice small marketing company based on that. And from a tiering perspective, like we ascended to gold. I think we ascended to gold like right after they cut, silver. So we just made it by like the skin of our nose. We started a HubSpot user group in the town that we're based in. We just really kind of picked up the banner for the software because we knew what the methodology could do that we were practicing could do on that software that was specifically designed to do that. And we, from a tiering perspective, we just kind of, we slowly grew. We were gold, and then we hit platinum, and we, continued to do that. And then, from a business perspective, I feel like that we felt like we hit a ceiling. Like we were not going to be able to grow much more as a marketing firm in the way that we were at the time. And so,
and Jake, just to the point, when you said that ceiling, what's around there, just for the audience perspective, what that looks like? What's the revenue and around the people when you say that for marketing?
I think for me, it was like, we hit, I think between 12 and 15 employees maybe, and kind of the revenue you would expect in that, the kind of around the 3 million, 2.5, 3 million, and we wanted to do a lot more than that. We felt like that, we had a lot more to give, and a lot more value to bring to a lot more companies and people, because we really kind of, the methodology, the way that we think about it in our head, oftentimes, at least I think about it, is, it's a question I learned in a program, entrepreneur program called Strategic Coach. And the question is, to whom do you want to be a hero? And how do you do that? Like, how can you be a hero to somebody? And sometimes, the answer to that question can be very clarifying. And so we always wanted to be the hero to these owners at the time, because we were mostly working kind of in the small business market, but it was mostly the owners. Like owners would come in and see us, and they're seeing losses for the first time, in years, and they don't know what to do because so much has changed how people consume, and they have not kept up with it. And so they'd bring us in, and then a year later they would be like, oh my gosh, this is wonderful. Like, we're finally making a lot of money again. And thank you so much. And those renewal meetings were the best, man. Those were the best renewal meetings. We had one renewal meeting. It was so fantastic. The guy called us in. It was an older gentleman. It was a family business. And he was really, really kind of, I wouldn't say scared, but he was just concerned because his sales were down, and they were not selling much of the product they really wanted to sell. And we started working with them. And in that next renewal meeting a year later, it was really easy. It was just like, it was straightforward. And then the one after that, he didn't even show up, or he was there, but he was back in the back of the conference room playing with his new grandson, and the guy he had hired to replace him was dealing with us. And so we had gone from him being, like concerned about the health of his family business to, I hired somebody to replace me and I'm gonna be granddad over here. And so I think about that a lot, because that's what we do. Like, that's the kind of thing we're doing for people, is changing their lives. Now, it's different for us now because we're doing a lot more mid-market and kind of touching on a good amount of enterprise, kind of what I would refer to as lower enterprise level. And so the people are different that we're being heroes to. It's people that are trying to, that are trying to make their companies better. So anyway, I've gone on a lot. That was a lot.
Well, it's just like, it's a story. And I think this is important for people to hear, that there's different stories and there's different places. And often I love how you said is, who are the hero we're solving for? I often do David Donald Millard's story brand, which is that saying, like, who is the hero of the story, and how are you coming alongside of them to guide them to their path? I think it's so powerful, and every business has to have that answered, or it becomes very difficult to make plans and execute on a plan. So I think
that's right.
Beautifully.
If you don't have clarity,
what led? Because you say there's a shift, and so hey, you're at this 15. You're saying, hey, we want to continue helping in many ways. Like, we love being this hero, but what led to the change? And what was the change that said?
So the change, So I think the challenge was, what we had realized was, being a marketing firm that was really, really good at HubSpot, we decided to just be a company that's really like outstanding, world class at HubSpot, and that's it. And so I think our focus was larger, and we made the decision that, and we did this. I mean, these are the kinds of pivots that we've made over time. We always, we look at, like, what are we really great at? What has the most value? And are there things that we should cut? And that is just this process writ large, because we were doing a lot of successful B2B lead oriented marketing, like I mentioned before, with a particularly strong emphasis on organic search. But how we did it, the way we did it, and the way that we did all of the things that came behind that was, we exploited the HubSpot platform every way that we could find. Like, anything that we could figure out to do on it, we would do it. We were doing stuff back in even 2015. We had what would have been our channel consultant at the time had mentioned to Ashley that we had done something on this customer's website, and in their HubSpot platform that had not been anticipated that somebody would want to do that. And so it was like, great. I was like, hey, and we take that. I mean, that's like a badge, it's a medal on our chest. It's like, yes, like, we're pushing it harder than they thought that it would be pushed. And so we took a lot of kind of internal, I don't think we've ever told anybody that, by the way. I think this is the first time, like, actually telling somebody that had happened, and that we really took a lot of pride in that. So,
and I think it's also indicative of the change as we go. It's indicative of the product evolved, where it had more use cases with more ICPs that allow you to. And if you're wicked good at HubSpot, and it's starting to, HubSpot's starting to appeal to a larger and larger audience, the wallet share increases. So you can do inbound and still do marketing agency portions, but then it allows you to have a larger market share for the sales portion. Sure. So as you're making that transition and getting really good, I'm assuming it had something to do with, hey, I'm now able to get more market share. I'm changing my offering to not just be SEO B2B focused, but now we're talking about the entire funnel. And
right. Yeah, that's correct. And we're doing, and so, but for example, what I mean by like marketing work, we're not generating content. We work on strategy in order, like, we will work on strategy within the context of like what the technology needs to do and should be doing in order for you to meet your larger goals. And so it really is from the technology perspective. We're always kind of, everything is what tools do we need in order to get this done?
Okay, so y'all made a shift, company HubSpot, and this is the claim to fame, right? Y'all made the shift, y'all made the decision, and then you went to a rapid progression, and hit Diamond, and then post Diamond 8 months to Elite. That's a lot of growth. What was, so it's not just a change of mindset. Like, what did you do to move that fast? Maybe it's like 3 things, because I mean, that includes hiring, that's staffing, that's a lot. There's a lot there.
And we had already kind of started the hiring up. We had already started that early. We were, and we continue to do it right now. So there was that. The truth of the matter is what it is. The very best decision that Ashley and I made was we hired 2 managers that were fantastic and that are fantastic, and and those guys really did a lot of the hard work that came with getting people hired, getting the right people. I think that's super important. Getting the right people hired is a massive deal. Anybody that has been in business and that has hired someone that ended up being a bad fit, I'm sure can relate to this. Like, it is bad. And so, they have done a great job of getting the right people in the door, make sure their culture fits, they're the top at what they do. And so honestly, we just hired great is what we did. And I feel like that we're entrepreneurs, ultimately, Ashley and I mean, and so we're gonna make those staffing decisions, even at the very top and the very best that we can, and really let those managers do their jobs. We want to hire, actually, this is a hiring philosophy we have. It's really fast. It's simple. It's always hire somebody that's better than you. And so that's always the mantra. Like, when we hired managers that would report to us, they're better than we are at a lot of things. And we ask them to hire people that are better and better. And so ultimately, in theory, I want to be the biggest buffoon in the company. Like, I want everybody else to be smarter than me.
Well, I love this. I love the philosophy. I think it's difficult to execute on. And I'm sure there's a lot of methodology to ensure that person can do certain things that, to help to validate that they're better at some things. What are some? I'm going to go through this just so we're doing it. So it's just more like as I'm thinking about this tier wise. Mm-hmm. So let's say today you're a lead. Yep. What does that look like from a revenue and employee perspective? And what goals, now that you've hit elite, are you trying to achieve?
So I think our FTE right now is going to be around 25-ish or so. And it looks like we're on track to do, it looks like we're on track. Based on our run rate, we should be going into next year. We should be in the 6 to 7 million range is where we think we'll land, just, based on trends. So yeah, I mean, that's it. And I know that there's a lot more beyond that. And just because of, there are 3 things that are happening right now. You're aware of this. One of which is that, and it's like I don't know, did you ever play golf at all, Matt? Are you a golfer? Or you ever watch golf or know what golf is? Huh?
Out loud. Yeah.
You're a golfer? Okay. So, okay. So, but here's the deal. I sometimes watch this golf on TV, and it'll be, this little guy will hit the ball 375 yards or some crazy amount of distance. And I always think, these guys are little bitty. Why aren't these big muscly dudes hitting it so far? And I actually looked this up, and I learned about the multiple hinge points. And so I think that's what we have right now in the ecosystem right now is multiple hinge points. You've got in golf, you've got your waist is twisting, your shoulders are twisting, and even your wrists are twisting there at the end. So that all comes together to focus that power on that one point. And I feel like that's where we are in the ecosystem right now, because we've got 20% plus HubSpot, just revenue growth rate, plus 20% plus. There's going to be at the time that this is being recorded, there will be an earnings call tomorrow. And so I'll definitely be listening to that. But so we've got already got 20+% growth year over year on the software product that we work on. Plus, they have said, my understanding is that they want to double the attach rate. So meaning the deal attachment rate, the deal rate. So you're looking at double there. 20%, you got 100%. And then everybody that's got their own unique spin on it, that's doing their own unique niche thing. That's kind of the third piece for them. And so we've got all of these kind of multiplying effects that make I think the future look good. I think that we are all I think all the great operators, and I hope we are one. I believe we are. All the great operators will do really well in the next 5 years. Sorry,
agree.
that's probably not the question you asked, though, was it?
Go. You're going. You're starting to talk about Hubolution, which is I love talking about that topic too. But there are different a conversion of variables that are making this what I would call the reason I'm even in the ecosystem was an arbitrage opportunity. As they go up market, we take mid market enterprise. And the honest fact is, and this is why this podcast exists, there's not enough partners in the ecosystem to support HubSpot's growth.
Yeah.
And so like when you're like here, hey, I had the hinge points, we as a partner, we need more partners to be able to serve and be able to execute in. But this is a huge pond and it's growing faster than we can actually grow as an ecosystem. And so what does that mean? That means there's going to be investment coming in. That means other people who are Salesforce specific, Marketo specific will start to shift. And so it's right now in these next 3 years where the future elite partners will be created. And so I agree with you 100%. I agree, yeah. What are some, so we're just, as we come to this as we come to the end and as we're thinking, you're now a sage, right? You've in many ways, you even hit silver.
I'm old, man. I'm old.
Well, you've gone through, you've been in the ecosystem over a decade. You've gone through every tier. You've even made the pivot to different types of products. You've evolved with HubSpot. As you were starting just a business in the HubSpot ecosystem, what's one thing you would never do again?
I would never be too broad. I would never be too broad. I would go in immediately knowing who, like, do your product market test fit, do all that stuff. Like go after and own something that a business, especially if you're starting with limited resource, like I started with $10,000. If you're starting with limited capital, then I think find something that you can own and just go completely own it. Be the best at that. If that's an industry, I don't know, it can be a lot of different kinds of things. That's what I would say is don't be overly general. Don't think that you're losing opportunity because, there's a particular piece of business that comes across your desk that you can't take because it's not in your niche. Like you will ultimately come out way ahead by focusing on what you're great at and doing that and getting better at it.
It's a truth that will continue to be true even after we all pass. That it's so hard to do.
It is, man.
Because you're like, I'm a business. I need to breathe. I need revenue. And so it's just like scary to say no. It's just so scary. It's just like, hey, say no. It will be better. Find your niche. Execute on it. Get better at it. And it will be better. You have more traction over time. What's one thing you wish you would have done earlier?
I wish that we would have hired a business coach earlier. We have a person that we rely on for a lot of great help and also kind of connects us with different people that we would be mutually beneficial. We would be helpful. I'm not talking about sales. I'm not talking about deals. I'm talking about just we've been where they are right now and vice versa. And so I think that like getting as much valuable outside counsel as you can get is I wish we would have done that much earlier.
Heard that same from several people. Like organizations that I've heard from other partners are things like Vista, EO.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of really good coaches that will just come. I know, like I've used a business coach that they're just meeting with, ask questions, which is very helpful.
Yeah.
So now you're elite, and so once you hit this elite, you don't stop growing. What is? You don't stop having ambitions, even though tiers stop. What's the most exciting thing? I think you've already said what's the most exciting thing about HubSpot. It's like these hinges they're creating. I think we all agree there. What's the big bet you're making in the future for BridgeRev? You're saying, hey, this is how we're going to, here's the next tier for ourselves and our minds. What are you going for the next
I got
year,
2
year?
Yeah, kind of the main big bet is just that HubSpot's going to continue to grow and push up market, driving demand for the kinds of high-end technical services that we provide. I would say 1B, the big bet that I'm making, is that at inbound next year, Dharmesh will continue to bring dad jokes. I'm betting on that.
I think that's a safe bet. Yeah. The other bet is, I think, also a safe bet. And this is that HubSpot goes on markets to their product HubSpot itself becomes more, I'll say it this way, adds additional features, and then adds full layer. They're like going through all their feature sets and adding like an additional layer of depth.
Yeah.
Then meets more enterprise use cases.
Yeah.
They spent this last year just doing that for Sales Hub.
Yeah.
They've already done that for Marketing Hub. I too think they'll think that about Service Hub. And I think another place they'll spend time as they go after like Zendesk and modern competitors there.
Hey, speaking of Sales Hub, did you see that HubSpot ran a TV ad in Monday Night Football this past week for Sales Hub?
I got hit with a few Slack messages.
Yeah.
That was like, and like if it's not, if you're like, okay, is HubSpot going enterprise? I would say no. They are going enterprise, mid-market, and SMB.
Yep.
Doing Monday Night Football is not just enterprise. That's mom and pops.
Oh, totally.
So when people say, oh, they're going to go, no. HubSpot is continuing SMB, continuing mid-market, and entering into enterprise. This is a different type of go-to-market. I'm very excited about it.
You know, when I saw the ad watching the game, I was like that meme that what's his name, the actor, Leonardo DiCaprio going, I can't believe it.
You're like this.
Look at that.
It's me. I got that thing.
That. Yeah. So anyway, hey, you know there is going to be a next tier though. They're going to add another tier.
What do you think it's going to be called?
I got three guesses. One is Super Secret Double Elite. See what I did there? I think it could be Eliter.
A leader.
It could be Elite Squared.
Elite Squared. I did a lot of video games, and I think if they were taking from the video games, they have tiering, and so it does go silver, gold, platinum, diamond.
Okay.
And then instead of elite, they split elite into different. They have master and grand masters.
I can see that.
I would love to add the word master or grandmaster. It'd be a cool thing to do.
Totally.
Yeah, I think we could riff a long time for just about stuff.
I'm sure you don't have that time, but it's such a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, it is a pleasure to talk. This is thanks for adding. Where can people find you if they are in their HubSpot journey and they need someone to talk to? Pry on. Where do they find you?
Yeah, so the company, the website's bridgerev.com. It's pretty straightforward. The word bridge with rev on the end, which doesn't stand for revenue, by the way, stands for revolution.
Ooh. Okay, I see what you did there. I would also say, if you haven't seen it yet, BridgeRev holds the record in the entire ecosystem for the best announcement of hitting elite anywhere ever.
Yeah, you love that,
if you're going to start there, it is a Super Bowl commercial-like ad. It is brilliant. So
I'm glad you guys liked it.
Jake, thank you.
That's all staff. That was the team.
It was the real people.
Yeah, it was no. It was the team that thought that up. That wasn't my idea. Don't. I mean, I just want to make sure I'm giving credit where it's due. That was not me.
It was brilliant. Well,
thank
Jake,
you.
I appreciate the time.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom. As we leave today, stay awesome. Keep doing it big. Never stop believing. Stay
Thanks,
super,
Matt.
everybody.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks.